Hello everyone, welcome to another video on this channel. This is a bit unusual because I don't normally do collabs with other channels, but for this fine gentleman I've decided to make an exception. This is my friend Luke Gardner. He's also known as Luke Ginge, but if you search Luke Gardner you'll be able to find him. And what this video is basically about is he is a big Doctor Who fan. His channel is dedicated to all things Doctor Who. And I myself am also a bit of a fan, and I thought I might do some Doctor Who videos down the line. And we were both, very interested in the prospect of collaborating with each other on a few of them. And this is going to be our first sort of, attempt at that, and hopefully it turns out all right. How this is going to work is basically it's a two-parter. So the one part will be on my channel, the other part will be on his. And we've essentially each come up with 10 questions to ask the other one, themed around Doctor Who, to find out a bit more about where we stand as fans of the show. So this should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I hope Luke is as well. Are you looking forward to it, Luke?
Yep, I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready to go, mate.
Yeah, awesome. Right then, so you lot watching my channel can sort of get a good handle on what Luke is like as a person, as a fan. I'm going to be asking him his questions on this channel. And then if you like what you see of him, then you can go visit him and check out more of his content. And if you do want to find out things about myself, where I am as a fan of the show, then you can go over to his channel and check out his video on it. So anyway, without any further ado, let's get started. 10 questions, and here is question number 1. Okay, so Luke, Doctor Who is a big part of your life. You've built a channel around it, and my first question is essentially, where did it all begin? What got you into Doctor Who to begin with?
So, the thing that I remember that got me into Doctor Who the most was the episode Tooth and Claw in Series 2 with the 10th Doctor and Rose. I remember my dad talking about it when I was younger, and sat down one Saturday night at my granddad's, came on TV, and it kind of changed everything for me. It was that episode which everyone says it was the first historical which I'd seen. I didn't know anything about Christopher Eccleston or previous Doctors, and I started with Tennant, and then just religiously, as the weeks went on, continued to watch and dive more into Doctor Who. And then I believe I was only 13 when I found out there were other Doctors prior to David Tennant. So then I went back and watched Modern, and that's kind of where it all started, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you talked a lot then about all the modern Doctors. I know that you're a much bigger fan of New Who than you are of Classic. But what I want to know is, how much of Classic have you seen?
So Classic, I've watched 2 Doctors, 5 Doctors, the movie. I believe that's still classified as Classic. And
that's a weird one. I don't know where to class the movie. Whether you'd class it as Classic or New. It's
yeah, because it was a revamped type of attempt, wasn't it?
It's sort of. I think because of what happened with Big Finish afterwards, I sort of consider it more Classic. But other than that, because it's basically what started the revival, so it sort of should be New, if anything, but Big Finish just makes me consider it Classic. Anyway, I'm sorry for cutting in. Carry on, mate.
No, it's fine. Like, when I Google Classic, the 8th Doctor comes up, but in my head, because of Time of the Doctor and the prequel episode, McGann is a modern Doctor to me. And I've watched that, and then I watched a little bit of the last series, Series 26, I believe it is, of Sylvester McCoy. But other than that, I haven't seen that much. I've seen snippets of the stories, like I've seen snippets of Unearthly Child and a few from most of the Doctors, but not watched the full series enough to actually understand Classic Who.
Yeah, well, as we collaborate more, I'm planning on sort of expanding your knowledge of that by introducing you to some Classic Who stories. My next question for you is, what do you hope to get out of that experience?
just a deeper understanding, because when I speak to people about Who, they bring up things like the Morbius Doctors and stuff about the Sea Devils, and I just kind of stand there, smile and nod, because I'm not I've not been educated in it at all through Classic Who, and I'm kind of hoping it develops a new characteristic of the Doctor, which I can see coming forward. So, like, I understand the Ninth Doctor because of the Time War and how he's gone on, but I'd like to understand what made the Eighth Doctor in the movie the way he was, and Sylvester McCoy the way he was as the Doctor, and see how the story of the Doctor from an alien planet pans out on Earth and other planets, like, because I know he was very alien to start off with, and then he's slowly become more human from what people have been telling me, so I kind of want to see that character development.
Yeah, well, after nearly 60 years of it, there's a lot of character development for you to get into, mate.
Exactly, that's going to be fun.
How often do you find yourself going back and rewatching old episodes? And when you do that, do you tend to go through them all in order, or do you just pick and choose certain episodes you feel like watching?
So I typically go back and rewatch the episodes every couple of months, or when the new series is coming up. And it depends on what the episode is coming up. So, like, classically for the past special, that was the Dalek one, I watched every Dalek episode from 9 up until the one from the previous one, Revolution, just to keep in touch with the Dalek story as it went on from Modern Who. But then when Series 12 was released, I watched every episode from Series 1 up to Series 12. So I do rewatch it regularly, but sometimes I'll pick and choose, other times I'll just watch it a lot.
This isn't one of my planned questions, but you're just talking about going through the Dalek stuff, so what I want to just ask as a sort of bonus question, if I may. Have you ever seen Remembrance?
I've saw a lot about Remembrance. I've not seen the full episode, but I've saw documentaries on it, if that makes sense. And yeah. I've saw, I think it's Harrow War. There's basically a YouTuber online who takes episodes and breaks them down and talks about them, if you haven't seen them. And he's been doing a lot of Torchwood stuff lately, and I have watched him. He's done one on Remembrance of the Daleks, and I've also seen like the parts where they break down each clip and put in deleted scenes. So I've seen it and I understand the storyline, but I don't understand it in context because I've not seen the story, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's definitely one I'd recommend.
I do want to watch that, to be honest. It's one which I've got in my H&M basket ready to buy. I'm just waiting for the right time.
Right then, bringing it back to your area of expertise, the modern area. Chibnall. His current run has been very divisive, to say the least. Where do you stand on this? Do you think, like, current state of Doctor Who, do you still really enjoy it, or do you think he's sort of ruining it a bit? What's your take on that?
Okay, so when Chibnall first came in, I detested him. No returning villains, no storyline that made sense. The Doctor was stuck somewhere between the bubbly start of Matt Smith but the moody end of like Tennant, and then she was also saying, I don't like conspiracies. Then the next episode, I love conspiracies. He just had a blunder of a series there, and it made no sense. And then he started to find his feet, bringing back villains like he did with the Daleks. Series 12, is, in my opinion, one of the best Who's that they've done since Peter Capaldi, like the start of Capaldi and end of Matt Smith, in my opinion. But The Timeless Child just makes so many things wrong with Who at the minute. Like, I like where he's going for his story point ability, but the reason we love the Doctor so much is simply because the Doctor is a normal person like any one of us. And now he's made the Doctor some type of god. And I've heard a lot of people refer to the Doctor as the Other now, which obviously it's classic Who, I'm not 100% sure on that. But the Doctor was a nobody who just wanted to travel the world, and now he's gone and made the Doctor basically a god. So it's like, I like the ideas, but you're ruining the character at the same time.
Yeah.
Like the perfect Sorry.
Sorry, no, carry on.
The perfect explanation of the timeless child would be the Master returning in Series 13 and saying, well, you know how I told you he was the timeless child? That's actually me. And just screwing over the Doctor in so many more ways, because that would make more sense of making the Doctor question herself.
Yeah. I've actually come up with my own sort of, probably not wholly original, because I'm sure many other people have come up with that idea, but I've come up with my own sort of way that I would do that, which is I would actually bring back another Time Lord character in the Rani, and basically I'd have her facing off with the Doctor, and the Doctor's like, you can't beat me, Rani. Turns out I'm the timeless child, I can regenerate infinitely, and the Rani's just laughing, saying, you're not the timeless child. I was there for that. It was never you. It was the Master that we did that on, and it turns out the Master didn't actually know that he was the timeless child, but basically all the experiments that they did on the timeless child to get the regeneration energy would be ultimately what caused the Master to go insane to begin with. Then they forced a regeneration and wiped his memory, so he thought that he was just a normal Time Lord from that point on. And then, even though they'd sort of got rid of those memories, the insanity still lingered there and eventually got brought back out, which is why he's always been like an evil character. That's my own sort of idea that I came up with, which I think could be interesting, but obviously that's not what we're actually getting. What we're getting is the Doctor as the timeless child, and like you, I really don't like that. Yeah,
I think that would be interesting with what you've said about the Master and Rani, because I remember Rani from the time of the Rani with a breakdown I've watched, and that would be a great storyline, because it would explain the sound of the drums and the video package in End of Time Part 1, I believe it was, where we saw the Master looking into the what was it called, the time vortex. That could be a memory that they've created over the top of the previous memories of his past life.
Yeah, potentially. Again, it's one of those things that I fundamentally dislike, but there's room to use it if someone, I'd say this, but if someone better than Chibnall was running it.
Bring back Russell T Davies.
Anyway, we are going on a bit of a tangent here, so I'm going to sort of rein it back in, move on to the next question. Okay then. I'm going to... this one's a bit of a long-winded one, so I'm going to have to look at it while I read it. Okay. So, this might be a bit more of a heavy topic than you were expecting for this video, but I am interested to get your take on this. During the classic run, the Doctor was never really one for romance with his companions. He was more of a sort of teacher or guardian or friend or, well, a travelling companion, really. But since the movie with Paul McGann, it sort of opened the pathway for the Doctor to be in more intimate relationships with his companions. And we've definitely been seeing more of it with characters like Grace and Rose and Clara and the like. And I just wanted to know your opinion on whether this dynamic is something that you think adds to the show in a beneficial way, or if you think that this alien shouldn't be picking up humans, taking them far away from home in terms of both time and space, and then forming these kinds of romances with them. I know it's something that has both its fans and its haters, and I just wondered where you stood in all that.
I've never really thought of the topic of this. I've kind of avoided the area of questioning about it because I have a very controversial opinion on it, which I guarantee I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for now in the comments.
Oh, I'm really interested now.
Yeah, it's good. I hate the idea of the Doctor and Rose with a passion. They just picked up too easy and just continued from Eccleston to Tennant without any question, and that made no sense to me. It was like, if it's the same guy, but he's a different person, you're obviously going to have your questions about him, and you're going to want to throw things at him which will be like curveballs, like Martha did and like Donna did. But with the aspect of where Martha started to fall in love with the Doctor, I like that aspect, which a lot of people hate, because Martha was this independent character and everything. But in my head, if you're taken away from home and you've been away for so long, because even though like they haven't confirmed it, there are storylines in between series 3, which you can see along there. If you like look in the right areas, it shows that there's potentially a different travel in between episodes. So if you've been away for so long with this mysterious character and you've got no sense of home and there's no one there for you, like as in a homely figure, and the only thing that looks like a human and at home is the Doctor, you eventually want to be able to come close to him, and you're going to see him as home and feel a lot closer, and then a love may develop. So I do like that part of Martha, and the complete disinterest of the Doctor because of the heartbreak of Rose. It just makes him that much more alien, but make that much more sense at the same time. So I like the ideas of the companions falling in love with the Doctor, but the Doctor staying alien and away from it, because that to me makes more sense of the character. But it's 2021, man. If the Doctor wants to, he can, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think the Doctor falling in love is a negative side of the show. Or if he was to fall in love with something completely different to the human race. Like, maybe fall in love with an alien what's about to come in or something. Because that, to me, would be perfect. Because then it would bring a moral dilemma, like, the alien's the bad guy, but the Doctor's in love with them. What they're going to do now? And then I think that would be an interesting turn on the show, but once again, I don't think Chibnall's got the skill to write that.
Wouldn't that be sort of just as weird, though, if the Doctor were to fall in love with another kind of alien? Wouldn't that be just as weird as him falling in love with a human? From his point of view, because he's neither human nor whatever that alien is.
Yes, I do get that, and like on the forums I've been reading and the channels I've been watching, they claim that the Doctor's asexual, so he finds anything sexual in a sense. I'm not 100% sure on that, so that's probably going to get me some hate.
I don't think you correctly understand what asexual means.
I 100% don't, I'm going to be honest. But we'll cut that bit out.
Oh, no, we won't.
Oh, no, we won't. So basically, the Doctor, if he falls in love with an alien presence or a human presence, we won't get that alien storyline as much as the human storyline, if that makes sense. So, like, stereotypically, we meet the character, the Doctor's on Earth. Oh, no, what's going to happen? Something bad happens. Oh, Doctor saves the day. Where in this alien planet, the alien could already be trying to save the day. Or the alien could actually be what's wrong, what's happening bad in this planet. And the Doctor's there, and the Doctor somehow finds it attractive. As much to say, like, say if they're a strong, independent character. Or even the Doctor being in love with the Master. That would make so much sense, because the tension that Capaldi and Michelle Goswin, I think her name was, the actor who played Missy, the sexual chemistry they bounced off each other works perfectly as well. So either like an alien or another Time Lord, but I don't think the human companion thing works that much, because even he says he's bought them out and he just wants a mate, as Tennant's famous line with Donna on the Planet of the Ood. I think that's what he sees humans as, mates, not anything more.
Yeah.
That was long-winded.
Oh, fair enough. It was, interesting to get your take on that. I'm going to simplify it now, be a bit less controversial. What is your favourite Doctor Who episode of all time? It can be classic, new, or audio. It can be whatever you want.
So many options. So, I like... I think the one I like the most, in my honest opinion, is the 2-part series finale for Series 2. The revived series, Modern Who, just because we get to say goodbye to Rose finally, and it's the Daleks versus the Cybermen. So, I mean, if you think of Who, in my opinion, you think of the Doctor, the Master, Cybermen, and the Daleks. And in New Who at the time, the Master wasn't there until Series 3. So we get rid of a terrible companion, in my opinion. We get some moral dilemmas for the Doctor, and him actually teaming up with the Cybermen, which he detests. So it shows Moral's dilemma, it shows two iconic villains facing off against each other, which we never had in Classic so far as I'm aware, and just getting rid of Billy Piper finally after two long series.
That is controversial. When you said earlier, I thought that you were just against the whole romance side of it, but sounds like you really dislike Rose Tyler as a character.
I dislike Series 2 Rose Tyler because she has no character arc in Series 2 at all. Like, in Series 1, she goes from this character who's like, should I be travelling with this guy? I want to be at home all the time. And in Series 2, she's like, yep, I don't care about Earth. I don't want to be at home. I want to enjoy this travelling, which I do understand. But at the same time, you would want to travel home. You would want to call your mum, as she did in Series 1, where she didn't in Series 2. So I think just Series 2 Rose Tyler for me is just the worst companion the Doctor's ever had. And I even rate Clara better than Rose Tyler in Series 2.
Very controversial, mate.
Yep.
Well. Right then. Who, in your opinion, has portrayed the Doctor the best?
See, my childhood was Tennant, and growing up, Tennant is like the icon of Doctor Who, as people say. But I believe Matt Smith played him best, personally, because Smith was the happy, bubbly character who basically didn't take any crap when he called... what were they called? In his first episode in Series 1, when he called the aliens back after they tried to escape...
The Atraxi.
Atraxi, that's the one, yeah. When he called the Atraxi back after saving the planet, he just didn't care. And as soon as you saw the montage from the first Doctor up until the 10th, and then he walked through saying, I'm the Doctor, it was as if to say, like, I'm doing this now, this is still the same person but different. And the whole arc of the Doctor, to me, made sense. Like, he was dark to start off with, then he went nice and bubbly in Series 6. Series 7, he sort of plateaued off to, like, a more aggressive, don't care type of character, and then plateaued back up to the bubbly character. To me, just showed how people actually go in their lives. Like, they're nice, they're kind, and then they just don't care. And it just made sense as the Doctor, where the 10th Doctor, he just kind of was like, I'm all about the adventure, until Donna, and then you saw the dark side of the Time Lord, which led to Time Lord Victorious. But it kind of showed him losing himself, whereas Matt Smith gained and lost himself so many times. He became the Doctor, to me, most iconically.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Okay. I love Doctor Who, but outside of the show itself, I don't really collect any merchandise or the like. I just sort of stick to the actual show itself.
Yeah.
I mean, I am wearing the Time Lord Victorious Brian the Ood t-shirt right now. But
yeah.
Other than that, I don't really have much in the way of merchandise. But you're sitting on a pile of branded gear. So
yes.
My next question to you is, what's the one thing in your collection that you're the most proud of?
The one thing in my collection I'm most proud of owning, I can actually go and get. It's just up here. It's a signed postcard from Tom Baker himself. Like, you know,
Ooh,
when
very
the stamps.
Nice.
Yeah, it was in one of my mystery boxes on my previous videos. So
you didn't go visit Tom Baker?
Oh no, unfortunately I haven't. The only person I've met from Doctor Who was Dorian, and I met him back in 2016 or 17, I believe. And I also met the actor who played Winston Churchill on that same convention, but I've never met an actual Doctor. But that is my prized possession, which I literally keep locked away safe and only bring out.
I'm not surprised.
For a video or for something, because for Tom Baker to sign that, it's just amazing.
Can you grab it? I really want to see that.
Yeah, I'll go and get it. I'll be one sec. Where the hell have I put it? Ah, for God's sakes.
Where did I put that prized possession?
I cannot find it. Holy fuck. I know what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the day. I genuinely cannot find it. I thought I had it in this box and it's not there. I am going to lose my mind. Yeah, I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Got it.
Well, that's good to know.
Oh, shit. I nearly just had a heart attack not being able to find this. But this is what it is. It's the Tom Baker card. Signature is right here on the bottom. And it's 2,500 of 250 or something like that. So, yeah, I've looked online. You can actually buy one similar to this for £40, I believe it to be. But when I got this, I just kind of lost my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when he was Classic Doctor. He was the embodiment of Classic Doctor Who as well, so far as I'm aware.
Yeah, so. He's very much to Classic Doctor Who what people consider David Tennant to be to New Who.
Yeah.
Right. So for my final question for you, oddly enough, we've gone through this whole video discussing Doctor Who, and my final question is going to be, what are some other franchises besides Doctor Who that you're really into?
Okay, so other than Doctor Who, I'm really into Torchwood and Class, which are basically spin-offs. I never really got into Savage Jane Adventures, but I did want to. Other things I'm into wrestling and Power Rangers. I mean, I own a Power Ranger helmet, for God's sake, so I'm big into those.
I've seen that helmet in your earlier videos as well on the channel.
Yeah, I have restored it, luckily, but yeah, this is like one of those big things. And wrestling, I got championship belts from wrestling. I'm a big fan of as well. So I guess it's basically anything nerdy or sporty. It answers the question.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Right.
Anyway, Luke, you beautiful bearded bastard, thank you very much. Thank you very much for doing this collaboration with me. Thanks for showing up in the video, letting my audience know a little bit about you. And again, if you like, the kind of stuff that you've heard from him, and you want to find out more about him and more about Doctor Who as well, in particular, if you're into that, then go visit his channel. It's Luke Gardner. I'll leave a link in the description as well, so you can just click that. And yeah, Luke, thank you very much for doing this, mate. And if you want to find out more about me and my thoughts on Doctor Who, then go to his channel and I'll be there. Other than that, there's not really much more to say. So thank you very much for watching. If you're interested in this channel, then press subscribe to find out when new videos come out, and to actually find out when new videos come out, ring the notification bell as well. If you like this video, press like to let me know that you liked it, and if you disliked it, then feel free to press the dislike button. That way I know that you don't want this kind of stuff in the future. Other than that, that's it. Thank you very much again, and I will see you in the next video.